Forgiveness represents a powerful act of releasing resentment and embracing reconciliation. Second chances provide opportunities for personal growth, learning from past mistakes, and positive transformation. Redemption involves acknowledging past actions, making amends, and striving to lead a more virtuous life. The parable of the Prodigal Son, narrated by Jesus, is a profound illustration of divine love. This parable emphasizes the boundless nature of God's compassion and forgiveness. Understanding this parable is key to grasping the depth of God's unconditional love. The family estate stands as a symbol of heritage and familial bonds. A younger son's request for his inheritance signifies a desire for autonomy. This request represents a pivotal moment, balancing tradition with individual ambition. Departure from home symbolizes a move away from established spiritual guidance. The journey to a distant land represents venturing into unfamiliar and potentially spiritually challenging territories. This departure signifies a deliberate separation from familiar spiritual support systems. The younger son initially experiences prosperity and indulges in a lavish lifestyle. His newfound wealth allows him to partake in worldly pleasures and extravagant spending. This period of abundance represents the allure and temporary satisfaction of material possessions. Extravagance visually represents the squandering of inheritance. Excessive spending symbolizes the fleeting nature of worldly possessions. Decadence is portrayed through scenes of reckless abandon and wasteful indulgence. Severe famine leads to widespread economic downturn. Economic hardship results from the famine's devastation. Poor choices exacerbate the loss of wealth during the famine. The farm work symbolizes the character's descent into poverty and desperation. Tending to pigs represents the character's lowest point. Farm labor visually embodies the character's struggle and hardship. The son's reflection reveals a moment of clarity regarding past mistakes. Realization dawns, leading to a profound sense of repentance. The decision to return home signifies a commitment to reconciliation and change. The son begins his journey home, a symbolic return to his roots. Each step forward represents a renewed commitment to faith and family. The journey signifies a reconnection with core values and familial bonds. Humility involves acknowledging one's imperfections and unworthiness. A plea for forgiveness requires sincere recognition of wrongdoing. Rehearsing a plea demonstrates a commitment to expressing genuine remorse. The father's watch symbolizes unwavering anticipation for his son's return. This anticipation mirrors God's constant readiness to forgive. The act of waiting represents divine patience and unconditional love. Unconditional love is visually represented by a father spotting his son from a distance. The act of running towards and embracing symbolizes acceptance and deep affection. The embrace visually encapsulates the concept of unconditional love and acceptance. The act of placing a robe symbolizes the restoration of dignity. The robe represents honor being bestowed upon the recipient. This restoration signifies a return to a state of respect and esteem. The father places a ring on his son's finger. The ring symbolizes restored authority. The ring represents a restored sense of belonging. The father kneels, gently placing sandals on his son's feet. This act symbolizes the son's acceptance back into the family. The sandals represent a renewed bond and forgiveness within the family. Preparations for a celebratory feast symbolize joy and rejoicing. The feast signifies the return of the son, a cause for great celebration. Culinary artistry visually represents the depth of familial love and reunion. The older son's anger stems from a perceived injustice, contrasting with the father's grace. Resentment builds as the older son focuses on adherence to rules rather than understanding compassion. The parable highlights the difference between legalistic adherence and unconditional acceptance. The father implores the older son to comprehend the significance of his brother's return. Sharing in the joy of reconciliation highlights the virtue of compassion within familial bonds. Empathy bridges divides, fostering unity and shared happiness within the family. The parable illustrates the concept of God's unconditional forgiveness towards humanity. Divine grace is portrayed as a freely given gift, irrespective of past actions or merits. The parable emphasizes the boundless nature of forgiveness, surpassing human limitations and expectations. Luke 15:11-12 introduces a father with two sons, the younger of whom requests his share of the inheritance. Luke 15:13-16 depicts the younger son squandering his wealth in reckless living, leading to poverty and desperation. Luke 2024 illustrates the Father's unconditional love and forgiveness upon the Son's return, marked by a celebratory feast. Repentance is a crucial step towards personal growth and spiritual well-being. Seeking forgiveness from others can mend relationships and foster inner peace. Applying these lessons can lead to a more fulfilling and harmonious life. Personal reflection involves introspection and self-assessment of one's life journey. The parable serves as a framework for viewers to consider their own experiences and decisions. Self-assessment encourages viewers to apply the parable's lessons to their personal growth and development. God's love is unconditional and unwavering, regardless of an individual's past actions or present circumstances. Divine forgiveness is always available, offering a path to renewal and spiritual reconciliation. God is always ready to welcome individuals back, providing solace and renewed purpose.